Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us at the start of this week as we're going to kick off our Etherlink Hackathon Summer of Code workshops. Giselle, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
I'm G, or Giselle. People call me G, it's a bit easier. I work in the solutions team, so everything to do with helping our users to have success with their apps, using our tools, which is what I'm going to be showing today. So yeah, like usually I work with like a lot of engineering teams and everything. But yeah, today I'm going to be showing you a little bit an overall of like our tools, and hopefully this would be helpful when it comes to like hacking and building dApps and everything. But yeah, let me share my screen. Let me know if some weird windows are, I know there's some small windows here and there. So I know I'll close this one and start with this. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, looks good. We can see your PowerPoint.
Perfect. So I'll use this PowerPoint to basically kind of guide me through a little bit of what I'm going to be talking about. Maybe some of you know thirdweb, maybe some of you don't, but we are a complete developer tool, completely connected to like blockchain. We do everything to do with contracts, payments, in-app wallets, every type of connection. And we have a bunch of components that I'm going to be showing you like one by one. As you can see here, this is just like an overview of some of the things that we have. So you can work with thirdweb when it comes to like your app, like front end type of part of apps, back end, on-chain transactions, everything to do with contracts and all. Then I'm going to jump into some of the things, and I'm going to be like switching a little bit of tabs so I can show you a bit of coding, a bit of like our playground on how to use our tools. Connect is one of the things that people use the most. This is like the first place where when it comes to like building a dApp, you need your users to connect somehow, right? Like you need them to log in, to create an account, whether they're coming from Web 2, which is mainly, as you can see here, like social logins like Google, Discord, we have like a bunch of them. Even like phone number, email, passkeys that we also have available to create a smart wallet and connect users when it comes to like users from Web 2. And we also have normal Web3 connections, like every type of wallet that we support in there as well. I'm going to be showing you a little bit of that like live. But first thing I wanna show is like if you want to use thirdweb, the first thing you need to do is like log into thirdweb. So you can go to thirdweb.com and create an account. In there, you have like a few different options. As I was mentioning, like you can basically go and log in with your email, and you're gonna receive a code, right?
Giselle, we can't hear you currently. Your audio just cut off after you said you'll get a code, and then it stopped. No, I can tell what you're saying, but I can't hear you.
Take out this. See
yeah,
if you can hear
now
me.
we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, maybe it's my headphones. I don't know. Weird. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah. So creating an account.
And then that's when we stopped hearing you.
Creating an account, right? So basically, first step is just create your account with thirdweb, and in there you have basically your projects. You can add like information about your company, your team, everything to do with that, and you'll be able to basically manage all your projects in there. I just wanted to show that because sometimes it's kind of hard to be like, where do I start? That's where you need to start. Just go ahead and create an account. And then from there, the other thing I wanted to show is the playground, which is this one. This is the thing that like all the hackers and builders, like this is the first place where I recommend you go to. So the website is just like playground at thirdweb. And in here, you will see basically every component and every product that we have. We have it available here for testing live. And it's a good
a good tool to use because you can basically play around with the things that we have and then think like, okay, which type of app do I want to build? What components do I need, right? So I was showing before the model for like sign in, which is one of the main first step that users will do in a dApp or any type of app. And you can test this like in here, right? You can connect a wallet, you can connect to like other social media accounts or anything, and you can like then from there manage your wallet. You can select, I know you guys are working with like different type of like mainnets. Okay, this is not showing, but you can choose Etherlink or whatever chain you're using, right? And in here, the good thing is like you can also see the code. So basically, in order to create this exact model, you just need to like copy and paste this code right here, right? So it's just a simple component. We usually use a lot of TypeScript and React for building applications, and you'll see that in our documentation. But this is a simple component, which is called connect button. In there, you can just basically select the options that you want to use, right? So in here, you can select it in the UI, but in the code as well, you can just go ahead and select, okay, I want to have web to users using email, or I don't want Google, I only want Telegram because that's my audience. So you can just like kind of click here and there and then copy and paste this code. The same with wallets. So if in the case that you only want to be using like certain wallets, you can just choose them and then copy and paste this code. So just wanted to give that as an example, but I would encourage everyone to go and explore like every type of component that we have right here. One that is quite interesting and that I want to talk through as well, it's like what we call account abstraction. Not sure if you guys have heard of it, but it's a very interesting mode. Some people call it, well, there's different names for it, right? Like, so we have account abstraction, but some people call it sponsoring gas, right? So we know that when we have users interacting with blockchain, they usually need to pay for gas, right? So whether that's like minting an NFT or doing a transaction from one wallet to the other, even if the NFT costs $0 or whatever currency you're using, you will have to pay for a fee in order for that transaction to work. And we have this capability, right, where we sponsor the gas, and I think it's like super cool. Only with like a few lines of code, like just basically adding this property, making it true, and selecting the chain that you want to use. You can have this account abstraction behavior, which is super cool. I think I have an example here. So, for example, here we have in the connect button that I just showed. In that connect button, like everyone is going to log in with their wallet. So let's log in with the wallet here. So you can see I have like 0 CK Sync, Sepolia, whatever chain that you choose. And we have an NFT, right? Like this NFT has a contract, like it's coming from a collection. You can use any type of collection. And then once it comes from minting the NFT, even though I have like 0 ETH at the moment, I was able to mint this NFT because we're sponsoring the transaction. So we can see like kind of the transaction processing here and everything. I think this is a really good example because I feel like we're in Web3, we're getting away from like getting things too complicated for user, right? So if you have some users that are new to blockchain, new to Web3 in general, and then you have to explain, you have to have some gas in your account. So like we're trying to make things like easier for them by sponsoring the gas in certain chains that we have that available as paymasters and everything. And it's also, if you're building an app that you want to have like a really great UX, I would recommend like trying this on. As I said, we always have like the code available here and then like the preview to test the same. Let me know if there's any question, or I'll keep kind of like showing a little bit. Apart from that, some of the other components that we have at the moment available, which are really, really useful for DeFi apps, are universal bridge. We're calling it universal bridge, and we have a few components, right? Universal bridge is like that type of component that you can install if you want to have DeFi, e-commerce, Shopify, like shops, everything like that, which is great for onboarding as well, as you can buy basically crypto with a credit card, and you can also buy with like crypto, any other token. But the main thing here is like you can onboard users and buy things with credit card, right? So we are showing few different providers, as you can see. For me right now, I'm in Europe, so for me it's showing like Coinbase, Transact, Stripe. So these are 3 providers that I have available if I want to buy a certain token, or if I install this in my dApp, in my e-commerce, and I want to buy, I want my users to use credit cards to buy, especially for DeFi. I think it's quite useful. This is great. And we also have the code here. The component is called buy widget. And then you just need to, again, define the chain, the seller, a few different properties that we have available for that. And you can kind of test all of this here as well, to test the properties and everything. In the same widget, we have the checkout widget as well, component, which it has been great for some of our users that are creating things like ticketing, like similar to Ticketmaster, that type of app, but like connected to blockchain. So you can use Universal Bridge in order to, like, buy a concert ticket, use any type of chain that you want. You can use Etherlink, and then like just buy using credit card or a different wallet. Really great for any type of like those apps. Also for gaming, because gaming has a lot of like buying and rewarding, and Universal Bridge have been quite cool to see in some of the gaming apps that have been using it. Also, it has the backend part of things. So if you want to call the API directly, you can do so. And we have like a few examples here in terms of like backend. With that, I'll show the documentation as well, because I know the documentation can be a bit tricky. Well, I find it tricky. I've been a hacker for a while, and sometimes, when you're hacking and you need to build a project like in a few days, you have to read a lot of documentation, and I know it can be hard. But all of that I'm showing you in the playground is here in our documentation, which the URL, it's portal thirdweb. Basically, in there, you can go in there and you will see all our products, right? And we have the playground, which is the one that I'm showing. We have templates. We have a bunch of things, how to get started with in-app wallet, depending of like the type of app that you're building as well. It could be even like a Unity app. We have a Unity SDK and Unreal Engine, which is more for like gaming apps and stuff like that. And then we, as I said before, we have TypeScript, React, and React Native. So anything to do with building a web app or a native mobile app, also you can use the SDK and like go through all our documentation here, which is quite extensive. And we have like a lot of examples of like all of that. A few tutorials, how to use like the Universal Bridge and all of that. So far, so good. Another thing I wanted to show, which is quite important when it comes to building dApps that are connected to blockchain, are contracts, right? So everyone is going to have to possibly deploy a contract, right? And I feel like thirdweb does something really well, which is like making it easy for users and builders to deploy contracts. And there's 2 ways to deploy contracts at thirdweb. One is just like log into thirdweb and deploy it through our dashboard. In here, you can see we have like an explore page where we have all the type of contracts that we have pre-built and audited as well. So these ones are super cool for hackathons, because like depending of the type of project that you're building, but if you want something quick, you need like to launch an NFT drop, you need a marketplace, we have these contracts available already completely pre-built. So all you have to do is select the contract that you want to use. There's a little bit of an explanation, use cases. Even we have here, for example, the events and the functions that comes with that pre-built contract. So you have like lazy mint, claim, all type of write and read. And then in order to deploy from the dashboard, you just need to basically go ahead and click deploy. You can create like your own metadata, add your photo, your name, description, everything like that. And then again, you can select the chain that you want to. So let's say Etherlink, right? I don't think I have fonts because I was trying to get some fonts, but basically you just select the chain and then deploy once you have like all the information filled in, like all your metadata and everything. And then it will prompt you to basically review and just accept the transaction, and you can deploy the contract just like that, right? In here is just more information, whether you want to add that contract to like a specific team or something like that. If you're building with a team, like it's a little bit more organized. Yeah, actually, I can show you here a little bit how this is. Let's just do testing, hacking, continue. And then you'll see like all our plans and everything. I think it's mentioned that we are giving some of the coupons for the growth plans for hackers. We'll do that after. We'll make sure that everyone that creates an account can just like use our growth plan and try it on, just for the sake of the hackathon as well. But yeah, I've explained a little bit more. I'm ahead of my presentation, so I explained like a little bit of the universal bridge, the contracts that we have that are great. Contracts as well, I have to mention, you can deploy from the dashboard, just as I show. It's like a few clicks and you can just deploy it. But you can also go to the, you can use our SDK as well to deploy the contract. So for example, if you go to our documentation, we'll explain there like how to go and deploy it just on your local. So usually I use like VS Code to deploy everything. So you can just clone, download it to your VS Code or any type of like coding editor and deploy from there. And just like in a few instructions that we have. So we have a CLA that works really, really good in terms of deploying. And our contracts are all open source contracts. It's important to mention. So you can go to the GitHub, straight to the GitHub here. And in here, you can even clone the whole thing and download it to your VS Code. Inside the contracts, you'll see basically all our pre-built contracts that you can explore, depending on what you're looking for, whether that's like I was mentioning, an NFT drop, different type of like 1155. We have like ERC20 if you're trying to deploy something to with a DeFi app, and you want to have like your own token, bunch of things that you can explore, and it's super easy. So if you know a little bit of coding, I recommend that you go ahead and just clone this and follow some of the instructions to like deploy the contract. If not, super easy, just go to your dashboard as I suggested, and like you just need to select your chain. You can see here we have like mainnet, testnet. Just select the one that you're using and deploy it straight from the dashboard, and just in a few clicks that will be it. So that's in terms of contracts. Another thing I wanted to show that I think is super useful, it's like some of the templates that we have as well for builders and coders. So when it comes to like the button that I was showing, a few, depending of which kind of framework you're using, we have like Next.js, Express, we have account abstraction example, which is like great one to look for. This is the one I was talking in the playground. So in here, you can clone the whole thing and download it. And we have like a live version of this here. So let's say that you're building an app and you want people to mint a collection that you just released, but people don't have gas, they don't know anything about Web3, so you can make them log in, right, with our connect button, and then claim, like this could be anything, depending of the storytelling of your app. This could be like an NFT collection, like art, it could be rewarding, it could be many things. Like this is used in different type of apps all the time. But it's just a little bit the same that I show in the playground. This is just more of the coding part of it. So if you want to clone it, all our tools are open source. So like just go and explore like our GitHub, and we have a bunch of things there that you can just clone. Usually you just like click clone here, download it. I actually already downloaded here. And you can see we have like session keys, we have like multi-chain if you're using something like multi-chain, we have gasless. All you have to do is go and create a client ID in the dashboard, and you can just add it to your end file. This is obviously secret. I'm showing like a testing one, but super easy. So if you create an account with us, we have, let me show here. Yeah, we have like how to create your API key. So this is the first thing you need to do. Just log into the dashboard, create a new project, even if it's for testing or whatever. You can always create like a bunch of projects, like it's not so important. And then we will give you what it's called a client ID, which it looks a little bit like this. And all you have to do to run any of our templates is basically add the client ID to it in an M file, and that's it. There's not much apart from that. You can do that and run the project. Not sure if there's any questions so far. I'll close a few of the windows. I've been opening a lot of windows.
We did actually have some questions that I was going to leave to the end, but if you wanted to go through them now, some of these you might have sort of answered within everything you've said, but given that they were asked, it might be quite nice to have like a refresher of it so that people just go to that point in the session. So earlier on, someone was looking in the playground and they couldn't find how to get the Etherlink network within their playground. Could you give us a quick sort of tutorial on how to connect to the Etherlink network?
Let me see. It should connect. I was looking for it right now as well, and I couldn't. But our playground can have a few things. If you connect it like in your, like if you download it yourself, I think you can do it. So basically, it will look like this. Let me show you. So you have the connect button here, right? And let me see where, oh no, wait, here. Chain. So here, for example, we are defining the chain. In this case, we just define like base Sepolia. But in the case of Etherlink, you can go and have like the, depending if it's mainnet or testnet, you can just copy the chain ID and basically use it directly here as well, or just put Etherlink here, like depending of what exactly what you want to do. But the way to do it is just that. Grab the chain ID. Let's say you're using testnet because you're trying to like test a few things. Just define the chain, right? And then use the chain ID, which that will define the chain that you're using. For some reason in the playground, it's not taking it. Let me refresh it. It should take all our chains, but there might be a bug. Let me try, wait, another one. Okay, and here I have base. Yeah, it's being a bit slow. There might be a bug at the moment here, because usually just by writing it, you should be able to find it. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's kind of how you do it. But there seems to be, maybe it's my internet, I don't know, it's super slow. It's not like loading properly. But the way you find it is just by looking there, or if you're using code, just define it in the chain. Actually, you can search for define chain on our docs, and it's kind of what I show in the other code. Is just in here. There's a bunch of other things like our contracts and stuff. But in here, if you look for define chain, that's the property, and you just define the chain inside. So here, one is just Ethereum, but you can copy this chain ID, bring it here, and basically copy it here, and you will define the chain that way and use the Etherlink for it. Whether it's mainnet or testnet, it would be the same.
Okay, cool. So potentially through the hackathon, they might be able to search for it in the playground. But for now, if it isn't coming up, then you guys know how to manually put it into the code, defining the chain. So hopefully that answers that question. Someone else also asked if there's any Python code in the playground examples, or is it all TypeScript?
It's all TypeScript at the moment. So we have here in the API references, like the programming languages that we have, like as an example. Like I'm obviously people can use Python for sure, but the problem is we don't have examples or templates in Python written in Python. But it's something that it's open to anyone to use. These are the languages that we have like examples at the moment.
Okay, nice. So if you're a diehard Python fan, then you can figure it out yourself in terms of having working examples and templates. Use TypeScript is probably the advice. Someone asked, TLDR, how flexible is thirdweb when it comes to integrating deeply customized smart contracts? Can they still use your SDK or embedded wallets within their contract architecture? Or are they locked into using thirdweb contract frameworks?
Yeah, so it's very customizable, honestly. Like some people use it as a base. So like you can download the contracts, like I was showing you can download the whole folder of like the bunch of contracts that we have, and basically customize that, use it as a base, customize it, and then deploy it with our SDK. You can deploy it. So that's mainly how it's used. So yeah, it's completely customizable. You don't have to use like the exact pre-build. We have like these pre-builds that are kind of like the most common use cases, right? That we have created. But if anyone, like if someone knows about contracts and they need to add like different functions and stuff like that, you can also do so. And yeah, and you can use the SDK to even deploy that customizable contract. We have like these modular contracts as well that are quite useful if anyone wants to explore that. But basically we have pre-built modular and pre-built like some standards. But anyone that knows a little bit about contracts and wants to just like play with that, yeah, I would just download it and start playing with it, adding a few functions, and then deploy the contract using our CLI, which is super easy, and you will see that contract in the dashboard itself, even if it's a custom one.
Okay, nice. So that was the main questions that we'd had so far. Could you walk us through what people can do to get a growth plan for the hackathon?
Yeah, a growth plan. So we need the hackers to create an account first. So basically go to thirdweb.com and log in using your email or a wallet or whatever it is. And then we need to collect that data so I can give you coupons. But essentially, it would be you go to your account. Let me show you. Settings. I think we're going to do it easily. I think once we have the list of builders, like I just add the coupon to your account and that's it. You'll have the growth.
So all you'll need from people is, and by the way, everyone, this is how you can access the thirdweb tools for the course of the hackathon. So everything that Giselle has showed you today, you get access to. So once you've made your account, you need to share the email address that you've signed up with us so that you can be added to the growth plan. There's a couple of ways of doing this. There's in the Hacker Pack, we put a Telegram for JRP, who is happy for you to contact him and share the email address that you signed up for. Make sure you make it clear that you're participating in the Etherlink Summer of Code and you'd love access to the growth plan for the course of the hackathon, and share the email address that you signed up with. Just saying that because if he gets sent a message with an email address in it and no other context, he won't know what you're talking about. But so that's one way. That Telegram username is in the Hacker Pack, so you should just be able to click the link there. Similarly, there's some links to sign up in the Hacker Pack as well. Alternatively, if you haven't done that and you want access, then when I'm in calls with you guys, you can share your email with me and I can share it with the thirdweb team. Or I see the Etherlink network now. Or maybe reach out, just respond to any of the emails that I've sent you and let me know, and I can do the same. So hopefully you guys can really utilize the thirdweb tools over the course of the hackathon to help you build some really cool projects. Do we have any other questions for Giselle? Otherwise, Giselle, is there anything else you wanted to talk us through?
Yeah, so I'll just show like two more things that I think it could be quite useful. I know you mentioned like vibe coding, like obviously everyone is vibe coding at this moment, like even myself when I can. So we have like this tool that we've been building in the last few months called Nebula. So once you have an account with thirdweb, you can go to nebula.thirdweb.com. And it's an interesting tool. I would say still kind of still in beta. So like we're still building this, but essentially what Nebula is an AI agent that is connected to all the chains that we support. And it reads like blockchain data in real time. And you can do like, you can experiment to do like a few things there. You can just basically like ask Nebula, for example, what you can do, and it will tell you. I can bridge and swap, I can transfer, I can deploy contracts. So you can make Nebula deploy a contract for you just in the chat. And I think it's quite interesting when it comes to maybe someone that's not so familiar with coding. And you can just like go and chat with Nebula and ask like a few questions, like if you have an idea of an app, or if you have a particular use case that you're not sure how to start building that, I would encourage you to like just go and use Nebula. It's kind of like a chat GPT that's connected to blockchain, and that you can occasionally do like a few things, right? Like transfer, deploy, or a bunch of things. Still in beta, so of course sometimes it fails or have like hallucinations, as every AI at the moment, but it's a cool tool, especially for building on chain. And I think it's a really good tool like for hackers as well. Just if they just, like I was saying, like if you have a use case that you don't know where to start, or an idea, like you can chat to Nebula. Maybe Nebula could help a little bit with that. And yeah, I think you can definitely try and use Etherlink here as well when it comes to like deploying contracts. We don't have testnet for Nebula at the moment. We only have mainnets. So if you have any funds on Etherlink, you can try and deploy a contract using Nebula, or either way, the other two ways I show, which is like dashboard and or SDK deploying. And the last thing I wanted to show as well is we have a YouTube channel, which is quite useful. So obviously, if you go to YouTube and you go to thirdweb, we have our, and in here we have a lot of content when it comes to like how to build an app from like scratch, basically. And we have like a few ideas that can be quite useful for the hackathon. We have a bunch of things like how to tokenize things, even like how to use Nebula with Twitter and create like your own AI agent that's connected to blockchain. We have like so many things. If it's gaming, we have like gaming tutorials, we have DeFi tutorials. So I encourage everyone to like go and have a look at our videos. They're quite good, and I think it can give you a little bit of as well of like some ideas of what to build. at the moment with our tools. Also, if you can give Rebecca my Telegram or whatever, like I'm free for these days that people are hacking, like to ask me questions. So that's usually my job. So I will be happy to help anyone who's trying to use our tools and something is wrong, there's an error, something is happening, there's stuck. So like feel free to like send me a message in Telegram. I'll make sure to like prioritize the hackathon, and I can help out a little bit builders in that way as well. But yeah, the tutorial videos are great. Like you can just watch them, bunch of things from like 0 to 100, and really great ideas as well if you're looking for some ideas of what to build.
Nice. Yeah, we can add your Telegram to the Hacker Pack as well. Apologies, Talon has just pointed out that the Telegram for JRP isn't in the Hacker Pack yet. That's because I haven't pushed the change. So thank you for flagging that to me. I will do that right after this call, and then you'll be able to DM your email addresses. So thank you very much for flagging that. And I'll also update with Giselle's Telegram too. Cool. I'll post all of these useful links tomorrow probably alongside the recording of this workshop, so if there's anything that you want to rewatch, you can do that, and also access all of the links. Other than that, Giselle, is there anything else that you want to cover, any words of wisdom as a hacker yourself that you can give everyone?
Well, I used to do a lot of hackathons. I haven't been in a hackathon for like 2 years, which is crazy. But I think like just build things and break things fast. Like that's the way I used to hack. Just kind of like go and like use every tool, break things, watch videos, like, you know, I think that's the way, basically. Just like go fast and break things and have someone to give a great pitch. I think the pitch is like key to win in a hackathon. So I would say like someone in the team needs to do a great pitch and like, you know, have an app that makes sense, right? For the winners, like something that has a use case, that like the explanation is good. I think my number one advice, have a pitch that is super short and it shows exactly what it is, not like so much text and stuff like that. Do a demo if you can't. If you can build a demo, like that would be amazing. Just do a demo and see like this is how you use it, and just break things basically.
And hopefully fix them.
Yeah, break them and then fix them.
Yeah, amazing advice. And definitely what Giselle has said about having a good pitch. You're going to spend 4 weeks in the summer of code building. You don't want to fall at the final hurdle of presenting what you've built to the judges. You might know it back to front, but they're seeing it for the first time ever. So you really need to present it in a way that so clearly shows everything that you've built, without kind of taking 10 minutes, because they might not have time to watch all of that. So in the submissions, which obviously you'll see more about in the Hacker Pack and I'll email you about, but in the submissions you're asked to submit a 3-minute video, which can be either a PowerPoint or a demo, but we really suggest limiting it to that 3 minutes and keeping it really clear and concise what it is you've built, making sure that it's the first thing that people see, and similarly making sure your README is clear. I know it can be a tendency to AI generate, LLM generate your README, which can make it look clean, but it is also overly word filled and might not necessarily present your project in the most clear way. You might see some of your LLM produced READMEs tend to be like a 10-minute scroll to get to the bottom of them because they're so verbose. So definitely keep in mind that this is the first thing that the judges are going to see, and it's how they're going to judge you. They haven't seen how hard you've been working over the last 4 weeks. That's all they're seeing now. So make sure that you present it well, so that you have a really good chance. Thank you very much, Giselle, for coming in and delivering this presentation. It's been a pleasure to have you, and thank you for answering everyone's questions. Does anyone else have any last-minute questions or comments? Otherwise, we'll end the call for today, and I will see you all tomorrow for our next workshop.
Cool. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I'm free like in Telegram, as I said. If anyone during the hackathon is having some issues, please let me know. I'm always happy to help with anything, and it was great. Thank you. I hope it was useful.
I definitely think it was. There's a couple of people typing, so we'll let them MB Freed says thirdweb doesn't work here unless you have a VPN. Is that the case in some places, Giselle?
I've never heard of that. Which
Whereabouts are you based, MB?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Nigeria. Maybe something worth investigating, and maybe we can come back.
Yeah. Make sure to send me a Telegram, because we have some user from Nigeria. We have like a lot of apps, DeFi apps from Nigeria that are using like Zillow and those kind of blockchain. So weird.
This is G's Telegram. So MB, maybe if you could DM now, if you're getting like an error message or something, that would be helpful for the team to maybe be able to fix for you. But otherwise, everyone, best of luck, and we'll see you all very soon.
Great. Bye.
Bye.